Hello everyone, Lawrence from Unicorn Reviews here. Today we're looking at a rather high-end webcam, and I even have the fancy 4K version of it. This entire video will be recorded with the OBSBOT Meet 4K, except of course for the parts where you can actually see the OBSBOT Meet 4K. And I'll also stop using the built-in microphone because I don't want to torture your ears for any longer. So let's first quickly switch microphones.
Alright, so that's already a lot better, switching to a €30 microphone. Now, I won't do any post-processing to the video, and there's no artificial light going on here. It's just a window to my right and my monitor in front of me, just to give you like a decent idea. So, quick disclaimer, this webcam was sent to me by Pergear, and so you'll find links to both their website and Amazon web shop in the description below, so check out those links if you really want to. Now, the first OBSBOT product I ever tested was this little guy here. This is the OBSBOT Tiny, and it's like a dual axis gimbal mounted webcam. Now, this is pretty cool, pretty advanced, pretty expensive to make. And so if they just improved the sensor quality, they could just digitally move around the image and zoom on the image without having to get the fancy servo motors to make everything rotate, which of course cuts the cost greatly. We'll start with a quick physical overview. The Meet 4K is rather small and the lens sticks out a little bit. You can also add a little lens cover for privacy if you really want to. There's an indicator LED on the top right, which also shows if the camera is in use. And on top is a little button which you can use to either enable auto tracking, remove the background, or just wake and sleep the device. On the bottom is a 1/4 inch thread for use with camera equipment, and the OBSBOT magnetic mount is also present, so you can easily mount it on top of your monitor. And so, just like with the Tiny, which has a gimbal to move it around, the Meet has a piece of software which is fairly lightweight, and here you can select your view, your zoom level, but also the direction you want to zoom in. The standard configuration is the very wide 86-degree field of view angle, but you can go to 78 degrees, which just zooms in a little bit digitally, 1.15 times, or the 1.45 times zoom on the 65 degree. Now, all three settings are fairly safe, and I would actually prefer if this was like custom configured, so something where you can just right click and just change the field of view you want. That would be really easy. I would also like to see user configurable presets for the direction of the zoom as well. With the Tiny, you could just set, okay, this is position 1, position 2, position 3, and have it move around like that with just a hotkey on your keyboard. You can't yet do this with the Meet, and I really want this feature because it's really handy, especially if you have multiple people and you just want to quickly zoom in on multiple people. That would be really cool to have. Now, anyway, what's really cool is if you just zoom in like this, you can use that for dramatic effect. You can slow zoom out as well. So that is really nice to like play around with, but in reality, what most people probably do is enable the auto framing. So you just enable auto framing. You no longer have zoom control, but it will zoom in just a little bit, because otherwise how would it auto frame? You can also choose between upper body or a close up. And then what it does is it will follow you around. So if I now move over here, it is digitally moving the frame around as well. Something I cannot test right now is the group mode. The idea is you have multiple people in frame. It will detect all the people that it can film and zoom in to capture everyone, and then also move around that view. It's not doing it right now because it's at its widest. Now, at work where I use, we have rather large meeting rooms with many people, and so what we use are these big, bulky camera, speaker, microphone setups. And the cool thing about those is it's just a single USB port that whoever's like the leader of the presentation is using. So it's fairly easy to just plug one cable into your laptop, be done with it. In theory, while the OBSBOT does not have a speaker built in, it doesn't really need it, because this is more for like single people who sometimes are in front of a camera with like 2 people. Maybe you're a small startup or just a very small company, and you only have like 2 people in the office, 1 person working remotely, and you want to have the office people physically in the same room for some reason. Then this group mode is pretty handy. However, the microphone, as you've already heard, and I'll just let you listen to it again.
The microphone in this webcam is just horrible. And so another setting I would like to see is, first of all, I'd like to see them fix the actual microphone, but then I'd also really like to see the audio settings for the microphone present in the OBSBOT Meet software.
Now, one feature that I am really excited for, but that I can't really do a proper review on because it still says virtual background beta, is of course the virtual background. With this virtual background, what you can do is go and enable it, and you can select to have a green screen or a blue screen or whatever you really want to use. Now, as you can tell from the earlier images, my hair is being all funky and I've got headphones on, and it's not really doing the best job ever. Same goes, of course, for if you just want to blur the background without doing this in Skype or Teams or whatever you're using to do your video conferences. As you can see, my left ear cup is in focus, but the right ear cup is blurred. It's a bit strange. And then, of course, the same goes for a background replacement. If you just want to replace where the heck your background is, if you just want to put your company logo in the back, for example, you can do that as well. But as you can see, it still needs quite a lot of work. So let's just quickly disable it again. And what you can see when you disable and enable is that the software hangs a little bit. You know, it's done this little freeze, and not ideal, but again, beta feature, I'm not going to complain about it.
And so by now you've seen and heard what the OBSBOT Meet 4K can do. And I just want to know, are you impressed with the image quality and the sound quality, or were you expecting more? I personally was hoping for the microphone to be much better, because as it sits right now, you just need to max the input level on your microphone, and it's just horrible sound quality. The image quality though is really good, and I love the auto framing and the tracking in that frame and the zooming. Everything works really well video wise, but on the audio side, it's basically useless. And this is just with me sitting, what, half a meter away, like 1 arm's length away from the microphones in the camera. If you're in a meeting room, there's like 2, 3, 4 people in there sitting like 3, 5 meters away from the microphone. It's just going to be horrible. And yeah, you still need to add a separate microphone for the system. And so I don't really see how it can be very useful as a meeting room camera. For you gamer boys out there who just want a decent camera with that handy auto framing, it's probably a good idea to get one of these. They're not very expensive, and the video quality is really good. So guys, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Comment, like, share, subscribe, bell icon. There's probably a lot of extra stuff these days on YouTube, but just let me know if you like the video. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.